Hi, all my lovely grade 1 students. How are you all today? Today is Sunday, the 7th of June, 2020, and it is our final vocab lesson of the year. Can you believe that? The final vocabulary lesson. My oh my, how fast the time has gone. So it's now week 12 and we're on to the second set of vocabulary words for high fly guy. So last week we covered vocabulary words 1 to 4 and now we are going to do vocabulary words 5, 6, 7 and 8. So these can be found on page 115 of Journey's reading book 1.6. Okay, are you ready to start? Okay, let's begin. The lesson objectives for this lesson are that students should be able to read and comprehend the vocabulary words, so read and understand what they mean, and they should be able to use vocabulary words in sentences, okay? So, our first vocabulary word for today is minute. Minute, okay? Minute. So a minute is a very, very small amount of time. In fact, there are just 60 seconds in a minute. So on our clock before, we learned about the hour hand, which is the short one here, and the minute hand, which is the longer one here. But often on clocks, we also have a second hand, okay? A second hand. So if you see on this clock here, we have little marks going all around the clock. And these are what we call seconds. So, this is our second hand here, the red hand. You may not have learned about this before. And what happens is, as this clock moves around the clock one time, so it'll go in this direction here, back to 12. That is 1 minute or 60 seconds, these little marks here. So a minute is actually a very short time. It does not take long at all. For example, you may take a drink of your juice or drink a glass of juice while you're eating your dinner. That is something that might take a minute. Or the time that it takes you to write your name and the date at the start of a lesson. That would take about a minute. It is much shorter than an hour or a day or a week. It is a word that we use to measure time, and it is one of the shortest amounts of time. That is after second. Second is very short. So a minute is a very small amount of time. Okay? Our next word for this week's lesson is beautiful. Beautiful. So if you look at the picture here, what can you see? A flower. That's correct. What does the flower look like? That's right, it's pink. Is the flower ugly or pretty? Yes, correct. It is pretty. It is a pretty flower. Well, our vocabulary word for this week is beautiful, And beautiful means very pretty. It means that something is very pretty and nice to look at. Beautiful can be used to describe anything. You may read in your story about a beautiful princess. Or on TV, you may see programs about beautiful places with beautiful water and mountains. What do you see here? That's correct. It's a cake. You can even use the word beautiful to describe a cake. Beautiful means anything that is pretty and nice to look at. Oh, what is this that you can see in the picture? That's correct. It's a butterfly. What makes this butterfly beautiful, do you think? Yes, it has many beautiful colours on its wings, such as purple, pink, blue, green, yellow and red. The butterfly is very beautiful. Our next vocabulary word for this week is idea. Idea. An idea is simply a thought or a plan. So something that you think about in your head or come up with in your head. Has your art teacher ever asked you to come up with some art ideas for a lesson? Here are some examples of ideas of things that you can make. For example, a fish out of paper, or some flowers using paper and toilet rolls. These are all ideas. They come from thoughts or plans that you make up in your head. Can you remember your PE lesson? Has the teacher ever asked you to come up with ideas for games? She might ask you to suggest something. You might come up with the idea of playing catch, or others might want to play something like hide and seek. These are all examples of ideas for games. Ideas can be categorized into good ideas and bad ideas. Good ideas are thoughts that are good or will make people happy or will help others. Bad ideas are something that are not good. They are not helping anyone and they do not benefit anyone in any way. For example, if your friend is crying, you would help her. Is this a good idea or a bad idea to help her? That's correct, grade 1. It is a good idea to help your friend and make them feel better. This will make them happy and will show them that you care for them. Look at this picture, grade 1. What is this boy after doing? Well, he is eating an ice cream. But what has he done with the wrapper? He has thrown it on the floor. This is what we call littering. Is it a good idea or a bad idea to litter? Can you tell me? That's correct. It is a bad idea to litter. By doing this, we do not make people happy and we do not help the environment or to keep our environment clean. It is a bad idea. Try thinking of some examples of good ideas and bad ideas. Our final vocabulary word for this week is friendship. Friendship. And friendship is the feeling between friends. Think back to the friends that you have met in school. You might not have seen them in a long time, but it doesn't mean that your friendship no longer exists. If you feel like you want to see your friend, you want to spend time with them, or you want to play with them again, it means that your friendship is strong. Here we can see the friendship between two girls. They are laughing and making faces. And here we can see the friendship between two boys at school. They look happy to see each other. Think of some of the friendships that you have made in school. I'm sure you miss